that wall-crawling arachnid prosecuted. I want him strung up by his web. I want
WEGL Auburn.
Good morning, Auburn, and welcome back to Compact Discourse right here on WEGL 91.1 FM. It is 9:02 a.m. on September 6, 2021. That's Labor Day for all you listening out there. So go out and enjoy your day off of work, school, or what have you. We are not taking the day off, though. We are right here with you, broadcasting live from the Bradley Baisden WEGL studios here in the Harold Melton Student Center, where it is in low power mode. So if you're watching our video live stream on the WEGL YouTube page, it's a little darker than usual, but we're making it work, although it is a little hot in here. So cue the Nelly, if you will.
Good one. Ooh.
All right.
That's a good song, Alex. Don't hate on Nelly.
All right. So I am, of course, your host, Jack Hart, joined alongside Co-Sports Director Alex Houston, Chief Engineer Luke Walker, and Civilian Davis Carroll. Thank you guys for joining me on this Labor Day. Luke, how are you feeling about being on the show so far?
Pretty good. It's my first radio debut, so glad I got to spend it with you all and hang out.
We're honored that you chose Compact Discourse to be your radio debut. Alex Davis still making it this fine Monday morning?
I mean, I got a little heated earlier, but yeah, I'm okay.
All right, we'll add that to the list of touchy subjects, and we won't talk about it again.
Now I have another button to push on Alex.
Oh my gosh!
Our Notre Dame conference championship.
It's only going to get worse as the year goes on, isn't it, Davis?
I don't know, Alex.
All right.
I don't know.
So we are currently monitoring the weather as well. So I know everybody's out enjoying their fine Monday morning, but of course it is 73 degrees and sunny. It's pretty empty out on campus, so it is a great day to take a walk or stroll around campus without anybody asking you to vote for anything or sign up for any clubs. So that would be a great opportunity to do that. We are looking at a little bit of rain coming in, 53% chance of scattered thunderstorms this afternoon. That's going to drop to a 33% come this evening. And we still got our eyes on Hurricane Larry, which is moving swiftly across the Atlantic. It's been upgraded to a Category 3. It is off the northeastern coast of Barbados currently, so it will probably be hitting the eastern seaboard of the United States coming up later this week. So be sure to keep your eyes on Hurricane Larry if you haven't checked that one out already to see if you're in the immediate path of that one. All right, so we are jumping right into things, seeing what is trending today. You guys got anything? I'm just kidding.
I mean, I actually saw some stuff, but not. Hold up, I lost it again.
Anything interesting, Alex?
Mark Hamill tweeted Mark Hamill and got thousands of likes, and then other people also tweeted.
Okay, once
Mark
again,
Hamill.
something interesting.
That is not really much, to be honest.
Yeah, it seems.
Oh wait, I mean, there was apparently a coup. That's what Twitter says right now.
In Turkey?
No, in Guinea, apparently. There is now a nationwide curfew after the apparent ousting of their president. I don't know what happened there, but
okay.
I don't know if that qualifies as interesting,
Yeah.
but you said trending, so
Okay.
I'm looking.
Fair enough. It's good to see a nice coup
That
on Monday morning.
I don't
I almost had a Brian Kelly moment there.
Oh my gosh. That was I'm surprised we didn't talk about that.
It will be a home run.
So yeah, I mean Brian Kelly, what was up with that? Was that just like a miscue?
So he's famously hot-headed. Notre Dame fans will remember the time that in his debut, Notre Dame was not very good, and he was losing it on the sideline. And then had a priest follow him around so he wouldn't curse as much on the sideline. So like yeah. This is legitimately. This is not Notre Dame like folk tale. This is real.
Was it like a plain clothes priest, or was he like have the collar?
No, he had the whole get up and everything.
I can picture it.
And yeah, because Kelly on his first game, like that's where all the like memes of him yelling and because Notre Dame was very bad when he came to take over, and so yeah, he's famously very hot-headed, and that's like kind of been his thing. and it's very, anti the Notre Dame way, I guess you want to say in quotes. Nobody really cares that much because as long as you get results,
Yeah.
right? But that's kind of his thing. So I was not surprised, but that was certainly a bit more in detail, threatening to execute all of your team. Seemed a bit bold. Not sure how that's going to work for motivational tactics, but definitely odd.
Yeah, he did have a slip of the tongue, though, last night when he said that instead of the team needed to execute, that he needed to execute the team.
I don't know if that was a slip of the tongue, though. That's what I'm saying is like
Yeah, you can't really say that in any other way.
that's what I'm saying is like I can't with 100% conviction say, oh, he just messed up. That sounds like something he would actually say as a motivational tactic. This is very much in line sometimes.
Don't care, work harder.
Like, so that's what I maybe it was, but also would not have been surprised if it wasn't. So that's Brian Kelly. But
It's a good message to have for the team.
I don't know if it's a good message, Jack.
Yeah, I mean, you should be scared of your superiors, right?
Yeah, that's at the next organization meeting. You can say, all right, guys, you better knock it out of the park with this PSAs, or I'm gonna have to execute all of you. Maybe you think that'll work out well, Jack?
Yeah, I mean, it's motivating.
In some way, I suppose.
Well, if you're wondering about Guinea, aluminum prices hit all-time high. So buy your aluminum
Yeah.
while you can.
Buy your soda products.
Wouldn't it be sell it while you can?
Well, if you need aluminum.
Oh,
How many people have a stockhold of aluminum in their house?
At one point in my life, I did.
Welding?
I had a great deal of aluminum cans in my home.
Oh.
I'm not sure if that's what Davis is talking about.
What? It's aluminum, so yeah. Soda prices might go up.
Oh,
Think about it.
Uh-oh. That'd be bad.
All right, so can we get a preview of what you guys are talking about on Through the Lens this week?
We're actually, I believe we're postponing the episode till
Might
next
just
week,
be late.
unfortunately.
What next episode is going to be Spider-Man,
The
Sam
Raimi
Raimi
trilogy.
trilogy, starring Tobey Maguire. You have watched the first two, Jack?
I enjoy these films, yes.
Which, yeah, and just
you're speaking my language.
everything from what's good about them to what's maybe not so good to all the funny in between, as in, how campy they may be and whatnot. And just, we're kind of doing it to lead up to the next, because, this new Tom Holland Spider-Man movie is supposed to be kind of, the crossover of all the universes. So we're going to do these. Then later down the line, we're going to do the Andrew Garfield, what is it?
amazing.
I mean, you can't call it a trilogy. You call it
Duology?
yes, that.
There you go.
I guess. We're gonna probably do the Tom Holland ones leading up to that. So yeah. But
And friend of the show, Chris Tobias, probably going to be on the show. I think we asked him. He said sure.
Yeah. Noted Tobey Maguire lookalike Chris Tobias.
It's true.
Indeed. But yeah, it's just I think it's gonna be really fun because those movies are some of the stuff that was written and then also done in those movies are just hilarious. From stuff that's great to stuff that's like Mary Jane's hair blowing in the wrong direction as she holds onto a styrofoam Spider-Man as they swing through the city.
That's a
Like,
good one.
That's
That
cute.
that one's also just kind of ridiculous. But the movies are very much I feel like they're the last of the sort of Tim Burton '90s era Batman movies, like of that campiness nature. Because even X-Men was kind of different at that time. So I think they're kind of a time capsule of what comic book movies used to be. So, but yeah,
They're very
that's-
silly.
exactly.
They're
yes.
whimsical. They don't take themselves too seriously.
Yes, and
despite having very serious moments.
Yeah, and the word people used to criticize it as campy, but I think that's even better just to say they're just fun and silly. And you don't need to take them super seriously, as some people do, but just enjoy them because I think they are very enjoyable and just fun to watch. But yeah.
Whenever I think of those that series, I always think of the third one.
Oh,
Just
gosh.
walking down the street.
Yeah.
The
I
little
watched a video about
snapping.
how since Peter Parker's such a nerd, that's what he thinks cool. So it's actually okay.
I
little
think
YouTube
Are
rabbit
you a
hole.
Spider-Man fan, Luke?
I am. I'm a fan of the original series.
There you go.
very
That's
nice.
awesome.
Very nice.
We might have to get you on the movie podcast
We'll
sometime.
get everybody on the show.
Give us some
Sure,
movies
sure.
you like. We'll work around you.
But I think they're going to be fun, but especially talking about the third one because it is just it's
Not as
everything-
bad as you think.
It's-
I was
that's
going to
one.
say it's the worst movie ever made, but
That's
it's
not
that
what I was
bad.
gonna say. I just think it takes the campiness nature and the silliness to an ultimate level. As J. Jonah Jameson's table gets filled with more pills each movie,
Jack likes that one.
and he tells Eddie Brock to get religion if he wants forgiveness, which is just absurd. And then of course again he literally has Brock praying that somebody kills Peter Parker in church, which I think is also.
Well, let's not give away the show here.
Not at all.
It's a little
Not at all.
preview.
It's a little tease.
I mean, yeah, it's gonna be an hour, so we're
Just imagine that conversation blended with the Notre Dame conversation. And
with
then
Chris Tobias also there.
And you have a classic episode of Through the Lens.
That's about to say that's about
we
right.
don't
Dave,
argue that much on
we
Through the
agree
Lens.
more on movies in most cases.
We're like
okay.
Until Davis brings out some analytical evidence, then it'll get bad. Or no,
Anecdotal.
anecdotal. My bad.
You can't
Oops.
even say
Oops.
it right, which
Okay.
proves I am correct here.
I don't know if it does that.
All right, so speaking of saying it right, we are going to bring back a fan favorite Compact Discourse segment. As I clear my throat, hold on. I'm back. All right, and that is word of the day.
Who's going to guess how to spell
We're
it?
going to learn you a thing. I'll open the floor up. The word of the day is, of course, fiducial. Fiducial is an adjective. And if anyone would like to spell it, and I'll let someone define it, and then I'll tell you if you're wrong or right.
I'll do spell.
All right, Davis. The word is fiducial, an adjective.
Okay. Can you use it in a sentence?
Okay. The fiducial mark on the pane showed me where to weld.
Okay. F. Fiducial or fiducial?
Fiducial.
That doesn't help.
We're gonna be here a while.
Fiducial.
That was very close, Davis, but unfortunately, you have guessed incorrectly.
I've got to guess.
Oh, Alex, would you like to guess?
Sure, why not? I'm just guessing it's exactly what Davis said, but it's F-A-D-U-C-I-A.
Unfortunately,
no.
There's two I's in the word fiducial. It is
What?
fiducial. It is F-I-D-U-C-I-A-L. It is an adjective. Would anyone like to define fiducial for me this morning?
Based on the sentence you used, fiducial
I forgot what
mark.
the sentence
Well, you said
was.
if this fiducial mark on the pane showed me where to weld, so it's like
Instructional.
instructional or like
Don't steal mine. That's
Guiding.
mine.
No.
You got to say something else.
sorry
You
or
can't yes and the definition.
I'm just trying to think
Just
of
say
the
that
word.
he's gonna take too long. Say the definition. This
ahead.
doesn't make
Okay,
good
so
radio.
fiducial is an adjective. It is something that can be taken as a standard or a reference. It can also, in a less technical sense of the word, be something that is founded on faith or trust. So you can have a fiducial relationship, and if you read a technical document, you can have a fiducial mark or indication on a piece of fabric or material. So
Interesting. That's a good word.
we're learning you a
Thanks
thing
for
or two.
teaching me,
Yeah,
Jack.
yeah.
Fun word.
Very
Don't
nice,
ever
Jack.
say that this show's all fun and games, because we're pretty serious.
Clearly.
And speaking of serious, we're going to reopen the floor to the trivia question and get your responses to that. You can tweet at us at CDiscAU. That's short for Compact Discourse, of course. That is at CDISCAU on Twitter. Trivia question is Alabama State trivia questions, considering the Tigers are playing the Alabama State Hornets this Saturday. The trivia question is, of course, a meteorite fell from the sky in 1954 and did a very specific thing in Oak Grove, Alabama, and we are wondering what that very specific thing was. It's the first verifiable claim of a meteorite doing this thing in recordable history, although it might have happened since then. So there's a clue. It's something that's very rare, as meteorites tend to be. So what did this meteorite in Oak Grove, Alabama do to become so notorious? I think even on the sign, "Welcome to Oak Grove, Alabama," it says home of the Oak Grove meteorite. So what is it that this meteorite did to become so notorious in the history of the world? We'll be right back with some more Compact Discourse on the other side of this break. You're listening to Compact Discourse right here on WEGL 91.1 FM or WeagleFM.com.
I'm Tiffany. I have some tips for you on how to quit smoking like I did. First, I did some reading about it. I found a lot of great advice on how to quit smoking and picked out the ways I thought would work best for me. I started by setting a quit date. Then I threw out my ashtrays, lighters, and matches. I did other things too, like exercising more, and it worked. But I'd still get cravings, especially on long car rides. To help me with that, I put a picture of my mother in my car. She died of lung cancer from smoking cigarettes when I was only 16. Now I have a 16-year-old daughter. That picture of my mother reminds me that I don't want to miss all the things my daughter is going to do in her life, including turning 17.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Getting support from friends online kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
Instead of smoking after I ate, I'd get up and take a walk.
I missed having a cigarette in my hand, so I'd hold a pen or a straw, anything.
Until I knew I wouldn't give in to temptation, I spent more time with my friends who didn't smoke.
I went to places that were smoke-free.
I didn't stay quit the very first time I tried.
I kept on trying, and I learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
I quit.
I quit.
I quit.
We did it, so can you.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
Well, good morning and welcome back to Compact Discourse right here on WEGL 91.1 FM, broadcasting live from the Harold Melton Student Center, where it is very dark and very, very warm, considering that the Student Center is currently in low power mode, as it is Labor Day. Yeah, Davis, I can see you all right. It is Labor Day, and the Student Center is shut down effectively, but we are making it in to discuss the world's goings-on today on this fine and sunny Labor Day here in Auburn, Alabama. It is, of course, September 6th, 2021. I am joined by Luke Walker, Alex Houston, and Davis Carroll on this Monday morning. They took one for the team and spent their day off with me this morning in the booth for Compact Discourse. All right, so some quick campus announcements for you. You're not going to want to miss these. You can follow at WEGL_AU if you want to check out all the updates on this one. But the latest WEGL session has arrived. That is Hotel Fiction performing live on WEGL. If you know about a Tiny Desk concert, if you're a fan of NPR, it's a lot like that. So we clear out the bullpen, we invite Hotel Fiction in, and they do a little concert for us. And Dylan, Grayson, and Luke do their best to make it sound good. Not that Hotel Fiction needs a lot of help doing that. So we're excited to have that on the YouTube channel. It's right where you're watching this right now. If you're watching our video stream, it is on the WEGL YouTube channel. What was that one like, Luke? Did you enjoy that one?
I had never heard of them before, and I was blown away. I know Dylan had seen them a couple times previously, but they've just got a really good live presence. Yeah, I'm a fan. Picked up some of their merch they got.
Okay.
I think they did it themselves actually, if I'm not wrong, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and of course, Hotel Fiction signed our pet flamingo Derek.
Yes,
who may be making an appearance here on the show sooner or later. So we're excited to have Hotel Fiction. We want to thank them for coming on to WEGL to record a WEGL session, and you can check it out on our YouTube page. And we are excited to see who the next one will be. We're also announcing the Spike Ball Tournament presented by UPC is going to be September 8th. That is... That's Wednesday. But it says RSVP by September 7th, so I guess it's an RSVP Spike Ball Tournament. Curious. Well, be that as it may, Auburn UPC is once again partnering with Tiger Knights to provide you some exciting evening entertainment, and this time it's in the form of a Spike Ball Tournament. So go ahead, and if you're interested in that, you can go to aub.ie/spikeball. That's aub.ie/spikeball. And you can register by September 7th to enter the Spike Ball Tournament, which will be from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. on the campus green. So once again, thank you to UPC for putting on a endless parade of free events for students throughout the year, and this one is no exception. A spike ball tournament coming up on the campus green on Wednesday evening. Be sure to register by tomorrow if you are interested in participating in that one. All right, moving right along to Auburn Stages. Auburn Stages is going to be this Thursday once again. We are excited to announce Auburn Stages is coming up. So I'm probably going to have Dylan on the show once again to get you hyped up for what is happening on that one. I think, all right, who we got this week?
This week we've got Joey Fermata.
Joey Fermata.
I don't know a lot about. Dylan is really good about kind of knowing the local artists and scene.
Okay, so we got Joey Fermata, and that is going to be once again on the Cater Lawn, same place as last week. Presumably at the same time, but details to come on that one. And I think Dylan will probably be coming on the Wednesday show, the WEGL Wednesday show, where we get Will Root, DJP, all of our music professionals on the show to discuss what they've been listening to. So get excited for the Wednesday show where we're going to be previewing Auburn Stages with Dylan, talking with DJP, and talking with Will Root as well about all of that. So once again, WEGL Stages is not going anywhere, or Auburn Stages rather. We got Joey Fermata coming up this week, and we've got shows planned all the way to winter break. So don't miss any of them. They're a lot of fun. So that is going to do it for campus announcements. Davis, what do you have? What have you brought me?
About Rob Ninkovich?
Okay, Rob Ninkovich. Let's go.
So Rob Ninkovich is a former Patriots player. I believe he was a linebacker. But he is still pretty vocal on Twitter and such. And after Cam Newton's release, he came out and said that he was released because Mac Jones had taught Cam Newton the playbook. So he was basically saying that Cam Newton didn't know anything about the offense and all that. That's kind of the implied part of that. But then he got called out on it. And then on Instagram, in DMs from fans, he went, "Yeah, that's a lie. That wasn't very cool of me." But then he also went on to say that Cam Newton's a bad person and he doesn't like him.
Like verbatim, he said that?
I'll find the actual DMs. But
a pretty crazy thing to say.
He was like he was basically like, "You haven't met Cam Newton in person."
Yeah, he said
I have met Cam Newton in person. He's a great guy.
One explanation I think I saw in one of the DMs, he's like, "Oh yeah, he just sucks." That's what Rob said as justification.
Citation needed?
He just doesn't like him.
To Rob, not you.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that it was just like odd is the word.
I think rat poison is the term we use for that one in the SEC.
Rat poison.
Yeah, not good for anybody.
Okay, good point. I see. Yeah, that was good. But yeah.
So NFL's coming up this Thursday. Is our first game? Is that correct?
Yes, it is the kickoff game. I think
which
is
the
we can't hear you, Alex. Put your mouth in the mic.
Sorry. It is the kickoff game, which I think is the Bucks against the Chiefs again.
Really?
No, wait, maybe not. Sorry, no, I don't know.
Let's get mad about it, and then he corrects us.
It's the Bucks and the Cowboys.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So excited for NFL. Excuse me, to kick off this Thursday. I had my fantasy draft last night. You guys playing fantasy this year?
Yep,
I'm in the same league.
Oh,
indeed.
Intriguing. Luke?
I'm not this year. This is the first year I haven't. I always forget towards the end, and then all the money leagues, it just ends up me just losing a bunch of money.
That's
so
fair.
it's better not. You know?
I wasn't particularly enthralled with playing fantasy this year,
I'm not
but
either.
I got kind of lassoed into it by my fantasy friends. So, you know what? I'll play along. I like it. It's pretty fun. It makes the games more interesting.
Fantasy football's kind of lost its luster to me. It's not as fun anymore.
Davis is mad because he's bad at it, and he's like,
I did better than you last year.
When you were bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, first
We're
time you ever.
Equal.
So what's your point? I had Christian McCaffrey. Okay, it's not that fun to me.
Last year was a tough one for me as well. I drafted Saquon Barkley with the second pick in the draft, and he tore his ACL all 5 minutes into that season. So that was that. And Davis, you had McCaffrey, who also had the injury bug as well.
And I came back from second to last place to end up in fourth place or something.
And
something crazy.
I had Aaron Rodgers and Lamar Jackson and traded away Aaron Rodgers. That was a bad idea in hindsight, obviously. But
What pick do you have tonight, Alex, for the draft?
I think it's 8th. I want to say not good. It is the serpentine style draft, so it won't be too terrible.
Okay,
but
so you'll come back and get like the 12th pick.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm a little nervous though because I don't know. Last year I kind of just barely made it because there were so many other teams that were a lot worse than me rather than me actually.
Well, Alex is going to have to do the punishment this year. I'm going to make sure of it. He's going to have to cover himself in mayonnaise and run a mile.
I don't want to do that.
So that's not the
how much mayonnaise are
That's
we
what I was
talking
gonna.
about?
How
many
covered,
jars?
I think it's just
covered are we getting?
Like
I'm not really sure. It's not my punishment. I think it's a good lather. Obviously, you're not going to
One jar.
Maybe I think it is enough to cover your whole body.
Mayo's
Obviously, not
spread
your whole
pretty
body
well.
because you're still going to be wearing some
I think y'all
clothes.
should clarify that beforehand, because one man's appetite's another man's indigestion. Someone
Exactly.
Oh,
someone
yeah.
might
That's
want
very nice. Very nice.
a little bit more mayonnaise on
It's also
there,
going to
a
be
little bit caked
December when
on.
this punishment gets doled out. Is that correct?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
That's why I'm going to make sure Alex loses.
What,
and not
Davis?
me.
Why don't we just agree to team up and make sure somebody else does it?
You can't. How are you going to do that in fantasy?
Are you
I don't
guys-
know. It's
are you
called
guys
It's called making trades.
collusion?
Colluding.
Conspiracy?
I'm not a big fan of this punishment. I
Yeah,
voted for
Dave. I
something else.
thought you
What
had a
did you
pretty
vote for,
you had a
Davis?
pretty good alternate punishment.
So for our league, we had to come up with our own punishment and like propose it, and everybody voted on it. And Mayo Mile won. Mine was that you had to set up a lemonade stand. That was already one I kind of seen, but I across the street from Toomer's Corner, Toomer's Lemonade, or like Toomer's Drugs, and you had to sell a certain amount of lemonade in a certain amount of time. You wouldn't be able to leave.
Well, like how would you? I mean, there's no guarantee you sell the lemonade, so how do you leave?
Alex, it's not the punishment, so who cares?
Well, okay, is that
Are you trying to poke holes in a punishment that's not happening?
Davis is just
We
just trying
could
to.
have done Dallas Buyers Club style. We had to sign up for a membership and then you hand out lemonade, or you just have this is my fantasy football punishment. Please take lemonade.
You got to wear the sandwich board.
Did y'all see that the 24-hour Waffle House punishment?
Yeah, it's
that was the
That
other
one was
big one
crazy.
in our league.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that one.
There was another one that was put forth, but never actually made it to the voting stand. That was you had to put on an Auburn basketball like uniform, full gear, and guard people walking by on the Haley Concourse.
That's pretty
for
funny.
an hour and 30 minutes, and every legal charge that you drew was 10 minutes off your time.
I had a thing about I didn't want to get other people. I didn't want to mess with other people. Like I didn't want to have to interfere with their day
I don't
by
wanna have to
guarding them on
Run
the
a mile in
Yeah,
mayonnaise.
ruin someone's day just because I don't do well in
Yeah,
football.
I'd rather you sell lemonade. That's fun. That's not gonna change their day much. But
Or
you guarding
embarrass
them,
them.
that might make them aggravated or something. I don't know. I just don't like to mess with people in
They might
public.
look a little upset if they they see you covered in mayonnaise though. So
But they're not gonna see that. We're gonna have a private track.
Private track.
rent
Well, I'm
out
not
a
gonna have
track
to do
for
it. So
Good
it's
luck.
Okay.
We'll just do it in the wreck.
What? We're not gonna do it in Auburn. I doubt.
All right, so we're going to figure out where the Mayo Mile will be and so much more on the other side of this break. You're listening to Compact Discourse right here on WEGL 91.1 FM. When we come back, we'll be talking about a little bit about the NFL season, what we're excited for, what we're not excited for, and what we think will be different this year as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers look to defend their title. We will be right back to Compact Discourse after these messages. Don't go anywhere.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
El que San Jude no cobra ni un centavo para nosotros significa quitarnos todo ese estrés, esa preocupación y podernos enfocar en nuestra hija.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When St. Jude told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow. They pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
Hey,
Hey, Dr. Phil here. I help people solve difficult and trying personal problems every day on my TV show, but there's one problem that's just got me stumped: childhood hunger. Nearly 16 million children in America struggle with it. That's 1 in 5 kids who may not know where their next meal is coming from, despite the fact that there's more than enough healthy, nutritious food out there to feed them all. Now, I don't know about you, but that is unacceptable to me. Luckily, the Feeding America network of good people is out there collecting surplus food and giving hope to hungry children and their families at local food banks all across the country. But let's face it, they can't do it without your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
And welcome back to Compact Discourse right here on WEGL 91.1 FM. I'm your host, Jack Hart, joined alongside Alex Houston, Davis Carroll, and Luke Walker on this Labor Day morning. It is Monday, September 6th, 2021. It is sunny outside, and it is hot and dark in the Harold Meldon Student Center as the building is in low power mode for this holiday weekend. Of course, it was a game day weekend. Auburn trounced Akron 60-10, and they are looking forward to their in-state matchup against Alabama State at 11 a.m. on the SEC Network in Jordan-Hare Stadium against the Alabama State Hornets, who the Tigers saw back in 2018 and handled pretty well. So we are looking for a similar result coming up on this Saturday. But let's head over to professional football as the NFL season is kicking off this Thursday, and we are all very excited for that, even if we're not that excited for fantasy. But I'm excited for the NFL season. It's going to be – last season was kind of weird. It was a COVID-affected season. It wasn't really shortened or lengthened, or the games weren't affected very much, but there was a general weirdness about the whole situation, I think you could argue. So I'm excited to have hopefully full stadiums and hopefully not many jokes about stadiums being empty because of COVID, because that's not a funny joke anymore.
Was it never funny?
It was never funny, for the record, Davis.
Thank you. I'm ready for all the 1,000 Bishop Sycamore jokes this year that aren't funny anymore already.
Yeah, that's bad. I mean,
Alex, you crying?
What?
Your eye looked like
I'm
you were
just tired.
crying, man.
I'm tired. I went to bed at 12:30 and got up at 6. I'm tired. Sorry.
That sounds like a you issue.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, but you asked if I was crying. That's my explanation.
Okay.
What are you gonna play, Jack?
I got one. How about this one?
We do not care.
Yeah. That's a little NFL segue for you, as that's Mike Tomlin from the Pittsburgh Steelers, continuing to be the coolest NFL head coach ever.
Good take.
Pittsburgh's taking on Buffalo this Sunday at noon for all of us here in God's time zone. That's Central Time Zone. But yeah, let's take a look around the NFL to see about any exciting Week 1 matchups. We got, of course, the showcase game, the defending national champs, Super Bowl world champs, I guess you could call them, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Are taking on the Dallas Cowboys in Ray J on September 9th. That's Thursday. As far as your Sunday games, we have Philadelphia taking on Atlanta. That's your first noon game. That one's in Atlanta. You got Pittsburgh taking on Buffalo, like I said, as the Bill Stadium has a new name. It is Highmark Stadium now, no longer New Era. That one is at noon as well. The Vikings and Bengals are squaring off in Cincinnati. The 49ers will be playing the Lions. The Cardinals are taking on the Titans. The Seahawks will play the Colts. The Chargers will be playing the Washington football team. And Sam Darnold will be playing his old team as the Jets take on the Panthers in B of A in Charlotte. And your final 12 o'clock noon game in an AFC South matchup, Jaguars-Texans, as that one looks to be very exciting. And then moving on to your afternoon games, We have the Browns taking on the Chiefs in an AFC playoff rematch. The Dolphins taking on the Patriots, always an exciting matchup. That one's up in Foxborough. Two Bama quarterbacks going at it in that one. A NFC big matchup. The Packers are playing the Saints. That one's going to be moved to Jacksonville as Louisiana continues to recover from Hurricane Ida. And we're going to have the Broncos play the Giants in MetLife. The Bears will take on the Rams in SoFi Stadium at 7:20. That's your Sunday night game. And then Monday Night Football will be the Baltimore Ravens playing the Las Vegas Raiders in Allegiant Stadium in the Death Star in Las Vegas, Nevada. So that is your NFL scoreboard for this weekend. Excited to get NFL going, and for the first time since February. And this season should be a lot of fun, a lot of storylines, a lot of new quarterbacks, which always makes the league more exciting.
I was going to say that I'm very interested to see in the first few weeks which quarterbacks stand out, because there are so many. I mean, you've got Darnold playing against his former team and against their quarterback Zach Wilson, who people have been kind of questioning exactly how much he'll translate to the NFL, considering he played the BYU schedule his entire college career. Because, that is one of the things that's never consistent. Carson Wentz played at FCS schedule, and he ended up better than players like better than some players like maybe Mitch Trubisky, who played an all-ACC schedule. So I think that'll be interesting. But I also really wanted to see what Tua Tagovailoa will look like without a Ryan Fitzpatrick behind him to sort of threaten to take his spot, because this will be his first full year where he actually has the reins. So I think that'll be very interesting to see.
Right, and I think the first person to figure out how college talent will transfer to NFL will never have to work a day again in their life, because that continues to be the biggest variable that no one has been able to figure out. And you saw that with the diverse collection of quarterbacks they got drafted this April. We had a proven quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, who lost one game in his entire college career. You had I would say, unproven quarterback in Zach Wilson, who played that BYU schedule and didn't have a ton of college prowess under his belt, but a lot of talent. And then you had a complete wild card in Trey Lance, who barely played a game in college. But people were excited to see him reunited with his old quarterbacks coach, and the level of talent was basically what people were basing the draft pick off of. So a lot of interesting quarterback picks and a lot of reshuffling. I know I'm very excited to see what that Los Angeles-Detroit trade is going to mean, as Matt Stafford's now starting for the Rams with blonde guy from UCLA, Josh Rosen. No?
What do you mean?
Who's the Lions quarterback?
It's Goff.
Goff.
Because they did the swap.
Josh Rosen.
He went to Cal.
Rosen, he went
Goff
to
Cal.
Rosen went to UCLA, but I don't know where Rosen is right now. He just got signed again by somebody.
He's
I don't
on
remember.
the Bucks.
Right, yes, he's on the Bucks. I'm very intrigued about the Matt Stafford one, because, Stafford's been that guy who was with a team forever that was just
He's
terrible.
on the Falcons. Rosen's on the Falcons.
Right. He was with a team that was bad forever.
The team was bad. Matt Stafford was very good.
Exactly, but I'm just curious to see how, because some quarterbacks and some players throughout all sports, right? They ascend to a new level when they finally get that new team, or they sputter and you realize, wait, maybe they were part of the problem as well. I'm interested to see how it'll end up. Again, the Rams are not a perfect team by any stretch, but they're certainly better put together than the Lions. They have an actual functioning defense and an offensive coordinator that seems to know what he's doing.
How old is Matthew Stafford? I feel like he's been around
like
for
32,
a while.
33.
Yeah, because he was at Georgia in 2008. So I think he's 32, as Davis said. I'm going to Google it right now, though.
I got it.
Oh, Davis has it.
He is 33. Called it.
Which, again, though, age is also very odd with quarterbacks now, because, again, Tom Brady's playing for eternity, and he doesn't stop.
Winning takes the years off,
Yeah, exactly.
Not getting hit.
Stafford has been injured a lot throughout his career. I think he only first played 16 games in his career, like his third or fourth year, because how many times he got injured. So there's that. But, the Rams certainly have time, and they're certainly in win-now mode, because they've got 1 million people on 1 million different large contracts.
Right.
McVay's going to be rebuilding this team in probably 5 years.
And there's a lot of pressure to do well from the city now that you have a competitor in the Chargers and the city, and then you also have this new stadium you're sharing with the Chargers.
Exactly,
You don't want to get overshadowed.
Exactly, which I don't think that's even, even no matter how good the Chargers are, there's just no fan base for them in LA anyway. I think we already saw that enough, but that is a good point, is that you certainly don't want to be the second best team in your own stadium, of which you were the first team to want to go there anyway. Then again, they'll just move to St. Louis in like 2 years anyway, so it's fine.
I can't wait for the remake of Money Talks in the new Coliseum.
What?
Just think about that one. Jack gets that.
Yeah, there's a great Chris Tucker and Charlie Sheen movie called Money Talks. If you haven't seen it, check it out. There's a pretty cool. The climax of the movie takes place in the LA Coliseum, and a lot of it gets blown up, and it looks like practical effects.
It is so cool.
I'm not sure how they pulled that off.
That's very interesting. Maybe it's a miniature.
It's not.
Could
They're
be
in it.
They might have pulled a day.
How would they have done that? They're in
Independence
it.
Hey, that's like how they did all
movie
Star Wars.
magic.
You think they've spent that much time on Money Talks?
I don't know. Let's see how much money that.
There's a lot of care put into Money Talks.
Money Talks is awesome.
I don't know. I'm gonna Google it right now. See if you guys are right or wrong.
All right, so we're gonna conclude this segment by doing a little fit check, as we like to do here on Compact Discourse. Davis, I'll let you kick things off with your shirt of the day. What are you wearing?
All right, I'll stand up. I'm gonna have to give the turnaround. Can you see it?
Back up a little bit. Do the 360 and then talk about it.
Okay.
Nice. Got it.
Wow.
All right, so this shirt today is a Dale Earnhardt Jr. shirt. As you saw on the back, his face is just staring at anybody that happens to be walking behind me. This one fits pretty well. It's an extra large. I got it from the America's Thrift Store in Mobile, in Tillman's Corner by my house, or near my house.
What does it say?
What does it say? I can't read it. It's so hard to read.
Let Alex read it.
It says, so that's quick start, because it's Dale Jr. quick from the start, because it's Mount, and then turn around. And then it says, get to the finish, and then there's got Dale picture on there as well.
Yeah.
Because
we might add this is AMP era Dale Earnhardt
yes,
Jr.,
when he went to number 88 instead of 8.
Not Budweiser.
Yes,
Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Indeed, which of course Dale being America's NASCAR driver.
That's correct.
Yes.
I will say this shirt's a little different from what I'm used to, because I like shirts that kind of have a block, like it does, that aren't going all the way up on the shoulders. The graphic is. I'm not used to this, so it's a little different for me, and it goes onto the back as well. But I like it.
It's certainly a unique style. I feel like this was a gifted for Christmas, sent to Goodwill 6 months later kind of.
It's a cool shirt. It's vintage.
Kind of thing.
I think Luke has a pretty cool shirt if we want to get him on shirt of the day, from what I can see.
You got the old Hallelujah right here.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I can see that.
Big Mavericks fan over here, Luke. Alex can
Our
talk about the Mavericks.
I was about to say, we can talk about that in the final segment.
Okay, good deal. And then I'll cap things off. How about that? I'm talking about my hat. I'm currently wearing a Sendero hat, which is one of my favorite outerwear brands that is based out of Waco, Texas, and they make really cool Western wear. Their logo is an agave plant, and they are Spirit of the West, Soul of the Wild. So this is their classic hat. It's kind of a dry fit, waterproof situation. It's a rope hat, which is always cool to see. It's got a mesh interior and is a snapback, so you can wear it backwards pretty easily. I'll close out the show wearing it backwards just to show it's diverse. But yeah, that is your Compact Discourse fit check of the day. So that is one more incentive for you to be watching our video live stream, so you don't just have to listen to us describe the outfits. You can check it out in living color for yourself. But that is going to do it for this segment of Compact Discourse. When we come back, we will be discussing the Mavericks, I presume, and anything else that comes to our mind during the break, as we probably talk about our Labor Day plans, as it is, of course, a long weekend, and we'll be discussing what is going on throughout the rest of the week here at WEGL and around campus. You're listening to Compact Discourse. Don't go anywhere.
Making it green is making sure the air in your home is healthy for your family to breathe. Make sure you test your home for the presence of radon. It's easy. To learn more, call 866-730-GREEN. Preserve your family's health and well-being. Get your home tested. That's living healthy and green. Make sure you test your home for the presence of radon. It's easy. To learn more, call 866-730-GREEN.
A message from the US EPA.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to mooch off your friends.
You gonna finish that grape?
You mean the one in my mouth?
You don't need to stop buying the necessities.
What you're smelling is a natural musk.
Ew.
You don't need to be a medical test subject.
How do you feel? Mostly okay. Sometimes, though.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman. Let's break for lunch.
You just need an internet connection. Don't get left behind. Start your personal savings plan with the tips and tools on feedthepig.org. That way, you don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
All right, deal. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Hold up, little buddy, what is you doing? Finna go hard. Ice on my neck, ice on my wrist.
And welcome back to Compact Discourse right here on WEGL 91.1 FM. I'm your host, Jack Hart, joined alongside Davis Carroll, Alex Houston, and Luke Walker as we welcome you into the Bradley Basin WEGL studios in the Harold Melton Student Center, where it is super dark in here and super warm as well, as the AC does not seem to be functioning very well. But it is probably warmer out here than it is outside, where it is a sunny 73 degrees. It is going to rain probably this afternoon, as we have a 53% chance of rain coming up this afternoon. So if you're out at Lake Martin or on your way there right now, be sure to plan accordingly. Don't get caught in that one. And we're still looking at Hurricane Larry, who is making his way across the Atlantic Ocean, probably making landfall sometime this week. It is currently a Category 3, so we are currently keeping our eyes on that one. All right, it's the final segment of the show, so let's go crazy. I know Alex and Davis, you guys are big NBA fans. Luke.
Yes.
You're a big Luka fan, Mavs fan.
Big Mavs fan.
I mean, yeah, head over to Luke's Twitter to see probably the coolest picture of a Mavs fan you'll ever see as his pinned tweet. And so, yeah, are you guys, how are we feeling about, NBA, we're talking about football, but NBA is also coming up pretty soon as well in October, so.
It's going to be exciting, but first of all, Jack, I want to say just what an amazing song to bring us back from the break, truly.
It's the master mix. You have to go all out for the final segment.
Definitely, but I think it's exciting. All the teams really retooled. It'll be interesting to see how the Bucks fare now with the East kind of trying to match them in some regard. Brad Stevens no longer at Boston, or as the coach of Boston at least. That'll be interesting, and whatever the Lakers will do, because they completely rebuilt their team.
Not completely.
What are your thoughts on the Lakers?
I think it's going to be a mess, but LeBron always proves me wrong. Every time I think it's not going to be good, that's when they're their best. So,
Alex, no LeBron hater.
But, legitimately, how is Westbrook going to work? Westbrook and LeBron need the ball. That's not a critique on LeBron necessarily, because when he needs the ball, it works. It's not bad that he doesn't work off the ball, but they both need the basketball. And, there is a possibility to have too many. It did happen with Brooklyn, because James Harden is pretty good at sort of, playing a point guard role and being sort of second fiddle to the other guys. He's been good at that his whole career. But with LA, I don't think Westbrook is any good at that.
Yeah.
And I just don't know how, because at the same time, you want to give the ball to Anthony Davis in the paint a lot, because nobody can stop him when he's healthy. But then who sacrifices? And again, How good are they going to be doing if Westbrook just, takes up the court and, throws it off the backboard 3 straight possessions in the playoffs, which is what he does. So I don't know.
I think they're going to regret that move.
Yeah.
I think you definitely need some bench players. You can't just have the starting 5 out there the whole time carrying it.
Yeah, definitely.
I think if they're going to try to go for the big splash, they should have pushed much harder for Dame or Bradley Beal or any other person like that. I think Russell Westbrook was who they settled for.
Definitely.
Russell Westbrook's good in his own right, but in this team, I'm not sure if he's the right fit.
Definitely not. I mean, look,
Alex also known Russell Westbrook hater.
It's not a known Russell Westbrook hater if it's fact.
I'm a Russell Westbrook believer now. I like Russell Westbrook.
Believer in what, Davis? Inefficiency and turnovers?
He's a good player. He has his issues like every player in the league does, but he's good.
I mean, yeah, but
oh, okay.
What?
Keep going with your thing.
There's no denying that he is talented, sure, but I mean, the fact is he doesn't work on a winning team yet. When that happens, that'll be surprising, but as of right now, it doesn't really work unless he's the top guy. Working his second fiddle with somebody else, I'm not sure. And
the Thunder made it to the finals when he was second fiddle.
But that was also
No. Don't say it's different because it's not.
It was because
he shared the ball with KD and Harden.
And he has basically stopped playing like that since, Davis.
Not really.
Yeah,
I mean, he
has.
still plays the same way. But the thing is, yes, he does have issues. I'll be the first to admit that. But when he plays his best, he can be the number 1 guy on any team in the league.
I think it's kind of a weird complex with him because I don't see him being the number 1 guy and carrying a team to that winning position. But at the same time, I don't see him fitting in as just like a piece in the puzzle.
That's what I'm saying. I think the only time Westbrook is at his best is when he is the number 1 guy. I don't know how it'll work out when he is having to share it with LeBron and Anthony Davis, because the thing is, Westbrook is kind of a quantity over quality type of guy where the more he gets the ball, the better he will be.
I don't think the sharing the ball is going to be the issue with him. I think the 3-point shooting is going to be the issue with the Lakers because he can't shoot.
That's true.
He can't. I mean, just simply, he cannot. But he is amazing at sharing the ball. He's pretty good. He's okay off ball, even though he can't shoot. He's a good cutter.
That's the one thing is
high energy.
I think LeBron makes people into spot-up 3-point shooters, as seen with what happened with Kevin Love, and I don't know how Westbrook will be able to do that because he can't.
I think Westbrook has a strong enough will that he's going to be like, LeBron, I'm not going to spot-up shoot. You're going to give me the ball, or I'm going to cut to the basket.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it works
Or they
out.
can just run. They can run it where when LeBron's off the floor, Westbrook's on to carry it, take up the ball, throw it down low to AD, which he did with Steven Adams for a few years, and also Serge Ibaka. All of them. He knows how to handle with someone down low. He also knows how to handle with a small forward or power forward in KD. It's not the first time he's ever done this. I think the Lakers will have issues, but I don't think they're going to mess up everything this setup.
I really think it comes down to it. I'm not saying that they're going to be, not a playoff team because they're obviously going to make the playoffs. They have too much talent to do that. And I'm not saying they're not going to make the Western Conference Finals because they're probably going to do that too because they're just that talented. But when you look at a team like the Lakers, what is failing? Failing is not winning the NBA Finals or not making it. And I don't think they'll win it. And regardless, you can say, oh, well, they had a great season. That doesn't matter. That is a failure for the team. That's how it works, right? Like Davis, you're a Bucks fan, and I know that. Obviously, I know how much you care about the Bucks, but would it not be a failure if they do not make it back to the finals? Certainly, you won't be, starting a riot, obviously, right? But that would be considered a failure, not, oh my gosh, it's the end times for the Bucks, blow up the team, which is not what I'm saying with the Lakers. But again, if you don't reach your end goal of what you spent all that money to acquire this superstar team, then that is a failure. And I don't think they'll win it. I think they could make it because the West is weird. The West is very inconsistent, specifically with the Clippers and the Suns as well, as we saw Chris Paul in the finals. So I don't know because the West is like that, but I don't think they'll win. I honestly don't think they'll beat the Bucks. So, in that regard, yes, I do think it's a bad season for the Lakers if they don't win the finals because that's what they're there to do. They assemble that team to do that, and anything less than that is not a good season. It's much like any dynasty, like the Heat. The Heat making the finals in 2011 and 2014 wasn't the end times for them, but it certainly wasn't a successful season.
Look, You're talking so much. You're confusing me. You're trying to make me miss the point here.
Not
Why
at
do you
all.
think? Why do you think they would miss the finals? Just say it.
Because I do not believe that team will work together well in the playoffs.
Okay.
And
I think they can.
I think it's a weird meshing of talent. So
I agree. I agree. It is a weird meshing of talent, but I think Alex isn't giving Westbrook enough credit here to be able to work off.
Even
ball.
if they string it together towards the end of the season, if it hurts them enough in the early goings, they'll get a lower seed and get a lot tougher road to the finals as well. That's something that also happens with a lot of teams like this.
I think they will have a lot of growing pains, but I think Westbrook can figure something out. And if not, they can just trade him.
But I mean, that's the thing is his contract is so big and his market value will be so incredibly low by that point. Who wants to mortgage their future for Russell Westbrook at that point? The only people that did it was the Wizards because they wanted to make Bradley Beal happy.
Trade him back to the Thunder and get some more. Give him Sam Presti some more picks.
The Thunder. Wait, so you would send Westbrook and picks to Sam Presti for who?
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Boom, that'd be crazy.
That'd
be a goat move. I do that in 2K. That wouldn't happen. I was kidding, of course, but that'd be awesome.
I hope so.
I just think Paul George should go back to the Indiana Pacers so we
can have that.
Start using that stroke PSA again. All right, here's a funny story before we get out of here today. All right, you guys remember when Lil Uzi Vert had that diamond put in his head?
Yeah.
So he revealed this past weekend that while he was at Rolling Loud and jumped into the crowd at his performance, it got ripped out of his head.
The fans ripped it out. Yeah.
The $24 million pink diamond. $24 million diamond that Lil Uzi Vert had embedded in his forehead back in February got ripped out of his head at Rolling Loud in July. But he was able to recover it inexplicably. So he said he's okay. He's doing okay. He's glad he was able to recover it, and he's glad he's still got the diamond inside of him, is what he says. So,
I mean, we were just so worried about him. I'm glad we could get that update, Jack. Thank you very
Alex,
much.
you weren't worried about him. I was.
That was
Uzi's awesome.
Did you not hear that? Never mind.
All right, so I think that is going to do it for today's show. I want to thank Alex and Davis for coming on today, and I want to congratulate Luke for making his radio debut on Compact Discourse, and I want to extend my most sincere appreciation to all you guys for taking some time out of your day off to ensure that the show went on today. I want to remind all of our listeners that we will not be having a show on Thursday, but we will be having one tomorrow, and one you're not going to miss on Wednesday when we get DJP, Will Root, and Dylan Basden in the studio to talk Auburn Stages, music, what's new on WEGL, all kinds of fun stuff. So for Luke, Alex, and Davis, thank you guys for listening, and let's get out of here. So thank you so much for listening to this exciting episode of Compact Discourse right here on WEGL 91.1 FM, however you joined us today, whether that be from your radio antenna, WeagleFM.com, listening to our podcast, or watching our live stream on YouTube right now in the dark. We want to remind you that all of our previous episodes are available as podcasts wherever you get your podcast. Just search for Compact Discourse. I use Spotify. It works just like that. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at CDiscAU. That's CDISCAU for links to the podcast and more. You can also get your conversation on the show. If you got a hot take, send it our way. You can go ahead and follow WEGL on Instagram and Twitter. That's at WEGL_AU. And our dedicated team of marketing professionals is working tirelessly to provide you high-quality content throughout the week, and Dylan is killing it on WEGL Sessions and Auburn Stages. But for Jack Hart, Luke Walker, Alex Houston, and Davis Carroll, this has been another exciting episode of Compact Discourse. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll be back tomorrow, Tuesday, at 8 a.m. with another exciting episode.